Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here with a special interview. For all of you all who have been following me, you are familiar with Inmate to Roommate, which is one of the shows that I decided to do this year based on the viewer's choice. In Inmate to Roommate, we had an opportunity to drag, and just enjoy the season. This was a premiere season. It was season one, and boy was it a ride. Well, tonight we have two special guests with us who will be sharing their story, the details that we all want to know about Inmate to Roommate. Now, of course, we all know about the rules. Okay, these are my guests. So here at Auntie's Advice, we're not rude. We don't attack the guests. That is not what we do. So sit back, enjoy. At the end, we may take some viewers' questions. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started right after this break. Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
Everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Auntie's advice, sweet old auntie. Auntie's advice. Are you okay? Are you okay? Well, welcome back, everybody. And again, this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this channel. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. Y'all, tonight we have a special exclusive interview with two of the cast members from Inmate to Roommate, Mark and Sharna. Well, hello there.
Hello, Auntie. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Hello there, Mark.
Good to see you, Auntie. Hello.
Good to see you too. You all have been very, very entertaining on Inmate to Roommate. We have come to both love y'all and be very annoyed with y'all. So you've made great television, and we are so happy to have you here at Auntie's Advice. So you want to just give us just a little bit, and I mean, I'm talking a little bit of information about who you are, how long you've been married, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, at this point, we've been married about 8.5 or seven and a half years, and you know, we just you know, went through a tough time, as many people saw when you know, you have a situation that turns out a little bit different than you thought it would, and the communication that you have to achieve new levels to, and you know, just you know, I think in the long run we are stronger because of it.
Right.
Absolutely. You know what? When you got somebody living in your house like Bill, you can't help but be stronger. Let me ask you a question. Have you all done this before?
Never. I have not.
Not with an inmate. We had someone that lived with us that was basically going to be homeless, and she ended up, you know, being with us for a couple of years. She paid rent after the first 6 months and ended up being a teacher. And she's really come a long ways. But sometimes things translate out with different people, and sometimes they might not work the same way.
Yeah, Bill seemed like he was the house guest from hell. And he appeared to always be the victim. So there are a couple of questions that I'm going to be asking you. So sit back, relax, and answer them as truthfully as possible. I know that you still are under obligation with the network. And so, we're going to make sure that we try to keep these where we're not really getting down into it. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing that I want to ask is you, Sharna.
Okay.
Sharna, you have been accused by Bill of walking around the house with lingerie on. We knew that was a whole lie and a half. Did you begin writing Inmates for romantic reasons?
No, I have been writing Inmates for about 14 years now. I started when I still lived in Hawaii, years before I met Mark, and it became a ministry for me, writing to men and women. The statistics say that 93% of prisoners in our American prisons are men. So there are not a lot of women.
Wow.
There are not a lot of women that are looking for pen pals. It's mostly men.
Well, I do a show on love after lockup, and there's plenty of. I guess those 7% of the women out incarcerated must sign up for love after lockup because they got a bunch of prisoner women. Have you all seen that show before?
I've seen tidbits of it.
Okay. Well, I reviewed that show, and it's a bunch of women who have these, little pen pal sites and stuff like that where they date these guys and, do all kinds of stuff. So I'm surprised that it's only 7% of them in the prison systems. So let me ask you another question. What were conversations like with Bill before he came to your house?
Well, I would talk to him, communicate with him on JPay and by phone, and Sharna can mention the letters end of it.
Okay.
Pretty much the first 3-4 years were all letters back and forth, and then when the JPay system came in, then we started doing phone calls occasionally, and everything was just very very low key, just cordial, everyday things, what stuff going on in prison, little bits of things going on in my life, it just like friends, just friends that, had met and on by mail and not by, in person somewhere. So it is a little different. You don't see them, you're just communicating, on paper or by phone.
So Shauna, you were not talking to him, but Mark, you were?
We both talked to him here and there. I would jump in on phone calls and send him Bible verses by JPay, things like that. So,
but why did it come off on the show as if you hadn't had any communication with him? On the show, it appeared that the only person that was communicating with him was Sharna.
No, I still have the JPay messages, and I was very fine with him coming to stay with us. I thought it would work out maybe 50%. I figured let's give it a shot.
Wow, now that's a different spin on the story because Bill really acted as if he was only communicating with Shauna. Shauna, so during talking to him on the phone, you indicated during the show that he was saying he was a Christian, a vegetarian, and all of that kind of stuff. Was that accurate that he was saying these things when he would talk to the both of you?
He did indicate that he had, that he was a Christian. Through, I don't remember if by letter or by phone, maybe both. And I let him know well ahead of him coming out that, you know, I had been a vegetarian since I was 15 years old, and I'm very repulsed by the smell of meat, and I
Oh, okay.
tolerate cooking meat, or I don't want to see meat in my refrigerator. So that was the rule that we had made before he came out. And he said he was going to be happy to have salads and lose all his prison weight, and he was very agreeable to it at that time. There was no problem. He said no problem.
But
So
he
he
certainly wanted to make sure that he could have some meat pizza and sandwiches, and you kind of saw him eating those in his bathroom and on his bed.
Yeah, it meat. We just didn't want it stored or cooked in the house.
Oh,
You know,
so he could eat it, but he
yes,
didn't eat it outside.
yeah, I told him, you know, you can go to McDonald's or Burger King, whatever. You get your burgers, your pizzas, and whatever. You can bring them here and eat them here. I'm not opposed to that because I'm around other people that eat meat. I just could not have it cooked in my house or stored in my fridge because it can drip and it can smell things up. And he was okay with that.
He said what he needed to say in order to get in your household, in my opinion.
Yes.
One of our viewers asked, Sharon Bird just asked a question. She said, why didn't Mark go with Sharna to pick up Bill?
Well, she had obviously some company that went with her.
Mm.
And that was like producers, police officers, armed guards.
Producers, you know.
Okay. And so you stayed home because you felt like it was safe for her because she had other people with her.
Yeah.
Because that was something that kind of bothered me as well. I'm thinking Mark seems like a big, a big guy, big protector, and you seem like you're a very small, petite woman. And it did strike me and a lot of us as odd, like, why wouldn't he go with her? But you said that she had other people with you, and so you felt comfortable in doing that.
To give Bill credit, we were confident in him as a changed man, and he is no longer an aggressive person. He's not really a threat to anyone. Did we know that 100%? No, but you never can know that 100%. And you also, if you're roommates, you have to communicate with one another, throughout the day anyways. So.
Do you believe that the edit, Sharna, that some of the editing made it look like there could have been romantic feelings between y'all?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that when I watched it.
Yeah. I mean, we all, before he got out of hand and showed his cards, because he couldn't keep up with the facade. But it really did come off as Sharna is attracted to Bill and Mark doesn't know anything about it. How did you feel about that edit? I really want to know how you felt about that.
I would have been okay with a certain amount of it, but then when it came down to an accusation at the end on his way out the door, that was crossing a line, and it's perpetuated itself to the point where we finally have to speak up to squash the phone calls that are asking when we're getting divorced and why my wife's a whore and all these things,
Horrible things.
Are you kidding me?
I'm a slut. It's just, personal messages to me, phone calls, people driving by shouting at our house. It's gotten pretty out of hand. So
do you regret doing this show?
I don't. I know she has days when she does, but I don't regret doing it. I think we really might find our next, inmate turned pastor or inmate turned, pharmacist, whatever. We know so many of them that are successful years after, and they've proven track record. So I think the show might end up really, really highlighting some of the successes, despite the conflicts that are, inevitable.
But I didn't know that this was spilling into your real life. Like, I'm shocked to hear that this has spilled into your real life.
Personal messages coming into me, through Facebook and stuff, and just really hateful stuff. Yeah.
I'm Sean, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
I think that
sorry
if
for
people
going through
if people
that.
understand a few of the things that really has them hung up, then maybe they'd understand that it's not necessary to be hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for some reason your screen is going, you all are real fuzzy. I don't know what's happening. Can you see, is your Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi is right here.
That's okay. We're going to keep going fuzzy screen and all.
Okay.
Absolutely we are. So I'm sorry that you're hearing that. So what are you doing to stop all of that? Have you taken your Facebook down? Have you privatized it? Like what?
I've privatized it. I mean, unfortunately, there are still messages can come into one channel. I will glance through those, but they cannot get in to see, my things on mine. It's friends only.
That is horrible. Mark, are you experiencing the same thing?
Yeah, I regularly get phone calls, texts.
How did they get your phone number?
Oh, it's somebody put it out there a long time ago. I'm not sure who, but it's out there.
What?
But we're okay. We're doing okay.
You're stronger together. I mean, that to me, that's absolutely ridiculous. We know that while most of this is real, that there is a percentage of this that is not. And I think that when we are looking at reality shows, we have to remember that a lot of this is just not what it is. Let's talk about the rules on the wall.
Mm.
You all had a 20 by 20 printout of rules that were hung up in the room that Bill was staying in. Can you tell us how those rules originated? And
No. I don't think we want to get into specifics of it, just that some were, some were ours and some were, added. And
okay,
yeah.
Mhm.
And,
the Bible stuff, you must be the, whole, like that could not have been.
That was not a requirement that he had to go to our church. We were not trying
Okay.
to convert him. He did not have to pay tithe to our church. That was none of our rules. And
Yeah,
I'm just
because
going
I'm thinking, how can you control somebody's tithe, the 10th, when the Bible says don't give grudgingly or of necessity, but you are to be a cheerful giver. And
Amen.
so so in order to force him, then that's breaking commandment because he's not a cheerful giver.
Sure.
Well, Auntie, he wasn't working. What was there to pay tithe on?
Well, no, according to him, he was working because he's an author and he's been selling books.
Well, yeah, well, we were supporting him, and he said his girlfriend was supporting him. We're not aware of any money coming into him.
Okay, was the girly bedroom decor your idea, or was this room really set up like this?
Before Bill came to our home, we repainted the room completely, and the decor we had in that room was a Florida room. It was very beautiful.
So where those teddy bears and unicorns and all of that stuff come from?
Not ours. I didn't buy it.
Wait, wait a minute, what?
That we did not buy that. That was not how the room was set up, and I'm saying that honestly. It was a beautiful comforter and bedspread on there that made it a beautiful Florida room. It was gorgeous. No twinkling lights.
Is that the Florida sign that you sitting behind now? Is that part of the decor in that actual room?
No, this is in our bedroom.
Okay.
No, It was kind of a an orange cream walls, you know, like a sunset, and had a beautiful, like an ocean scene on the bedspread, on the comforter. It was beautiful.
Now, during the end of the episode, the end of the season, he looked like he moved into another room.
No.
No.
The room, the bed, and everything was different.
I mean, I think it was a scene at his new house.
No, he was talking to Sharna. This is when he was telling Sharna, I can't be with you, Sharna, because you're married and I got a girlfriend and you're walking around, you know, in sexy lingerie. That room was not the room he was in downstairs. The dressers, everything was different.
No, it's the same bed, the same room. He just had a lot of stuff in there piled up around.
Oh, which made the room look different.
Yeah.
He collected a lot of stuff.
A hoarder?
we don't want to diagnose someone with that.
Everybody can make their own opinion.
Okay. I mean, I'm not asking for an official diagnosis. I'm just saying, was it hoarder-like-ish?
Did you see his car when he left? It was stuffed full.
Yes, but I thought that his stuff was stuffed full because Mark told him, I'm not playing with you. You got a certain amount of time before I get a ladder and climb in this window and get in that bedroom. So I thought that his car was like that because he was moving very quickly. You mean that's how his car usually is?
Well, no, I mean, it was packed and he was moving his stuff out in his car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was full.
We'll move on, but I'm going to keep that in the back of my head because I see Mark getting a little uncomfortable, and I really want to talk about that car and that hoardish like looking bedroom and car. But we're going to move on for Mark's sake. Did Bill really use a bunch of toilet paper?
Bill used a lot of toilet paper. I'm talking a quadruple roll, at least one a day. And when, you know, during that time, when we were having a conflict about that, was when COVID was really strong in our area. And when you went into a grocery store, there was no toilet paper.
It sure wasn't. Paper towels, meat,
and
everything.
And I said, you got to slow down. So I got Kleenexes and other paper products that were available and told him to slow down because we were running out.
Yes, and during the beginning of the pandemic, you couldn't find toilet paper, just simple things you could not find in the grocery store anymore. You couldn't find it. So that's what that was. And so eventually there was toilet paper that was stacked all up. I guess Bill was supposed to have purchased his toilet paper.
A friend gave it to him to give to us and do that.
So he had friends.
He didn't have money to buy anything.
I didn't think so. But where did the car come from? When did he buy the car? Because that was never on the episode.
He wanted a car, and a friend of ours donated his car to him. So he had a car most of the time he was here.
What?
Yeah.
So y'all were giving him resources, extra toilet paper, letting him eat his meat outside, and this is the thank you that he gave you all? Are you serious, Sharna?
Yes.
So who paid the insurance on the car?
I can't say.
You don't know, or you can't say?
I'm not going to say.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. So why was you all driving him around all the time if he had a vehicle?
Sometimes he would say he was wanting to go for a ride and maybe look for work, and we drove him around sometimes. But that was kind of a fun thing to for me as well, to see him seeing life on the outside for the first time in so many years. Just he really did appreciate so many things about just being out in the open and driving fast and driving slow. It didn't matter. He just appreciated freedom, as we all should.
Yeah, and that scene with you and him in that parking lot was hilarious, Mark. How did you feel about that scene?
That was pretty fun. When he just kind of decided to go nuts.
That was hilarious. Were you really scared or?
Yeah, that was pretty scary because it could have rolled.
You seemed like you were scared to death, and he just got tickled scaring you. I think that was one of the fun moments, one of the funnest moments in the whole episode, the whole season, with all cast members on Inmate to Roommate. So thank you for that scene, because that was absolutely hilarious, and I wish that we had seen more of that. Because was he fun loving and everything when he first came in, and then he switched up on you all?
He was fun loving the majority of the time. It was just that when he had a need or a demand, or thought somebody was spying on his girlfriend or whatever, then it became an obsession where it would be day after day of give me your phone records and prove to me that you're not failing me. And I really, at some point, tried to be such a good listener that I really did believe, as you saw, that I thought I had failed him in the end. So I'm no Dr. Henry, that's for sure.
So he wanted your phone records to prove that you were not harassing his girl. Where did this come from? Can we expound on this? Where did this come from?
We literally didn't understand it, but we went and printed out phone records, and then 3 days later he came to us and said, "I see you've brought me fake phone records," and it was just one conspiracy thing after another.
So when we saw the elevation of the stuff that was going on with when we saw the breakdown of the relationship, it appears that from what you're saying, that there were other factors, not just Sharna, that broke down this relationship.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, after the first couple of weeks, Bill and Sharna couldn't stand each other. She would walk away from him because it was the same things that he was needing and complaining about. She'd walk away and go upstairs, and I try to listen to him, and so it quickly had broken down.
what else was going on in the house that you can share? Let me see. So what was Bill like when there were no cameras? So you've given us a little bit of insight that he believed that he suffered. Was he suffering from paranoia, schizophrenia?
I don't know.
What was okay? I'm trying to understand here. So was somebody harassing his girlfriend?
I don't know.
We don't know.
So
we
this
never
just came out the clear blue. This for you. This just came out the clear blue.
Yeah, we could never figure out if there was any validity to anything. We just figured we'd try to be good listeners and listen to concerns time after time after time, and
So what else? So how was Bill really then when the cameras was off?
he was usually he was fairly easy to get along with, but he was always stressed. And you know, for me, when I would say, well, why don't you go get a part-time job? And you know, I mean, because he's, 14 hours a day, he was either on the phone or watching movies or both. So he was home almost all the time, and I try to get him out, to get a job or something. And it was always, I can't go get a job now. Your wife has a headache, has me with a headache, and we'll have to try again tomorrow. And so.
So was it excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse?
Mm-hmm.
So did he have access to the refrigerator and the ice machine? That was a big deal. Now, Bill showed us a sandwich that he said that he had on the air conditioner because he did not have access to the refrigerator. Can you explain why he did not have access to the refrigerator?
When Bill came to live with us, it was in the wintertime, snow. There was snow outside. And so there was actually heat coming through the register. So that's not accurate. Almost all the time.
Heat? Wait a minute.
Auntie, he had full access to the fridge. He had lots of stuff in the fridge, half-gallon jars of things in the fridge.
Auntie, does he look like a half a sandwich and save the rest for later kind of guy?
No, he doesn't. But you mean to tell me that he had the sandwich on a heater and was
I don't know.
Let me wrap my mind around it. So
it was hot the last month or so. It was hot, so I don't know.
But if he was coming out of the radiators or the heater, then that was a lie.
Yeah. You can make your own assumptions.
Yeah, because you said he came in the wintertime and he was like, in jail, we put all food on. Because I didn't even think that, they could have food like that in jail. But I mean, I've never been in jail, so, I don't know. But, he made it a whole thing, which really made him come off as a victim. Mm-hmm. It made him come off as he was being treated unfairly, that you all had these obscene rules in your house. He couldn't use the refrigerator. What happened with the ice machine? Was that even true? Did he have access to ice?
He had plenty of ice. I made the ice with the ice machine and kept the bin full so that when he pushed the thing, plenty of ice came out. Mark and Bill had all the ice that they needed. But I had bought that, and I told him I had read the instructions, and I kept it downstairs. He decided he had to have access to it. He didn't need to.
So you did take the ice maker from him and put it in another place in the house, but that was because he had access to a whole bucket of ice?
A gallon. The ice bin holds a gallon of ice.
I mean, he was eating ice while complaining about not having ice. So
I can't. So why do you excuse me for laughing. So why do you think that he made up these stories?
I don't know. There was a lot of things that were that he would complain about on a daily basis, and we just did our best to deal with them. And
but it didn't benefit you. No, it didn't benefit you because now people are harassing you, thinking that you treated him wrong. I mean, it just really didn't it didn't make you all come out in a good light.
No.
That's okay. We got through it.
It's life.
Would you do this again?
Not with Bill.
But you would do this again.
No.
I don't think so, because I have grandchildren, children, and I need my home to be safe. And, you know, I need them to feel safe when they're here to be with people that they know. You know, if we brought a stranger in, then they're going to be uncomfortable with grandchildren.
That's
So
true.
we're busy with our prison ministries. We've got over 130 pen friends we're keeping up with, men and women together. We do it together. And so we're too busy to worry about somebody else coming in our house.
Amen. So how long was Bill with you? And how long was Bill supposed to be with you?
Well, it was meant to be a short-term thing because, you know, I think we had 6 or 8 weeks that he could live here, no expenses for rent or food, and then we assumed he would be having paychecks and he could get his own place. The thing about that is, without getting into the exact months he was here, he had told us 4 or 5 times that he was leaving. You know, he was upset with us and he was leaving. And we did give him, you know, he's the one that was able to go on vacations to Jersey and California. And here we are tied down to work, and we've been told numerous times that he's leaving. You know, he's told us I just got to go, and I have arrangements, and so that's pretty much where it made it easy for us to decide. You know, when someone says, you know, you're coming on to me, you know, like that, that's a big red flag. So that made it easy for us, on top of all the texts that were pretty angry and I didn't think were accurate, and that we just knew it was time to go.
So we saw your girlfriend make I guess a phone call with you or try to assist y'all. How is she doing?
You know,
Is she glad he about it here? You don't have to tell me any details about it, but is she glad he's finally gone?
well, she's not at all involved. She was involved to the point of us making that decision and saying, so what are you waiting for? You know, she really thought there was, you know, enough stress that it needed to end,
Yeah.
as someone that has a lot of expertise in that.
Yeah.
And at that point, we certainly didn't want to continue to ask her for more advice.
Okay.
We had to just, you know, we haven't been in contact with her since. So it's more appropriate for us to just, you know, say that she helped us have common sense questions.
Yeah.
And we can answer the questions. You know, so.
So a lot of the stuff that y'all was doing, it appeared that you all would be praying about it before you would make the decision. Was that always accurate, or did you actually have to really sit down and use common sense about it?
Yeah, at some point you have to have some action, and I had to protect her from the stress that was going on and the false accusations. So, you know, she left it up to me, and I said, there's no doubt about it, not one more night.
Because, you know, at one point I was getting on you, Mark, because I felt like you did not protect Sharna.
Yeah, you were correct.
Looked very unprotected. She was stressed out. Like you could feel Sharna's stress. And one night I think I cussed you out. I was like, why isn't he protecting Sharna?
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that? Was that inaccurate, or was the timing off? Because when you stood in that kitchen and Sharna said, I'm not going to control you, because Bill had already been making a lot of accusations that Sharna was the boss in the house. And Sharna said, I'm going to let you make the decision, Mark, about whether or not he leaves or he stays. And you decided to let him stay. And I felt like Sharna was so unprotected. And I know she's a praying woman. I know she probably wore her knees out praying. But how did you feel about that at that time? Was that a misconception, or was that real?
looking back, I really failed her at that point because we should
Yeah,
have done whatever it took to, to make other arrangements. But on the other hand, of course, like I said, there had been, before long, there had been, some anger, and he said, I'm going to go ahead and go elsewhere. So,
yeah, because we was fighting for Sharna. We were fighting for Sharna. And we felt like we had to because she was being accused of things that we knew wasn't right. And just him staying another night in that house was just, I was furious. I was so team Sharna because he took things, in my opinion, to another level when he made those accusations about her. And then he made comments after comments after comments attacking your marriage.
well, that's the thing, is that when you say one thing, when you say something that's not accurate, it's a lie about her in any way coming on to him or being attracted to someone that's, in my opinion, morbidly obese and needs meat for every meal. I mean, it just doesn't pass the sniff test. I mean, she would be in no ways want him, and then you have to say, well, maybe she was coming down and this and that, and a lie has perpetuated itself. So it's been sad to see, but this is part of why we had to come talk to someone about this, that it is a lie, and silence does no longer mean that we're guilty in any way. We're speaking up now.
Good for you. Silence means that you follow the rules. You were asked not to interview during a season and you follow the rules. So the rules are over now, and so you can talk. And um I think that we all over kid Auntie's advice, we peep game. And when it just got to be dark, it really got to be dark. And Shauna would, try to say something, and all the attacks, in my opinion, were against Shauna. He never really fussed with you. What was that about?
Yeah, I mean, I told him a lot of things about my past, how I used to be an alcoholic and lost spiritually and mentally, and how Sharna had really changed, my life in many ways, and he never attacked me for, things that he's well aware of that I did in my past. It's always Sharna said mean things and nasty things and screamed at him, and she doesn't even scream that I've seen in 7.5 years. So
I'm not a screamer.
Yeah, you don't seem like you are. One of my members is Simone Dover says when he accused her of all these things, why didn't she deny it? She didn't say anything about it to him in his face.
I did when I was in the bedroom and I was by the door and he was accusing me of coming down. I said it never happened.
She said never.
I said
twice.
never.
Yeah.
I said it right there at the door when he was accusing me of that I was coming down at night. I said the only time I ever came down to your door was 11:30 at night when you were being loud and I was trying to
You
sleep.
did. Yeah, you did say that.
I said that's the only time I ever, and his door was always locked. He never opened the door. I just told him to be quiet, and then I went back upstairs. He never saw me in pajamas and things like that. It's just ridiculous. I kept, he was saying it again to me, down in the room when we were there, and I said it's false accusations again because it's false accusations. Never happened.
So let me ask you a question, and you can answer it, choose to answer it or not.
Okay.
Bill made a accusation that you all don't sleep in the same bed. Is that true? And if so, why?
The truth is when COVID came in and both of us are in the health field and we both take care of medically fragile people in two different areas, that we needed, for the sake of our patients, to not sleep together in case one of us was carrying the virus.
Oh.
It has to do with medical reasons, not not because we're not getting along. We have a very good and strong marriage. It had to do with that either one of us could become, especially him in a nursing home, could get infected and not show any symptoms, and he could pass it to me. So we do.
And he used that to make it appear that you all had a bad marriage.
Yeah.
I did end up getting COVID, and I was glad I was in a separate room. We still remain in separate rooms, but that's just because we sleep much better when you don't have anyone else to, be in our way, rolling back and forth or whatever.
Well, a lot of couples, a lot of loving couples don't sleep in the same bedroom. But he used that to make it appear, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, that you all had a troubled marriage. He even said something about it when he was leaving, or when you all told him he got to go and hit the road, Jack. He made a statement again that you all were going to be divorced. Where is he getting that from?
I'm not sure.
I don't know why he says that.
We did have daily struggles between us at that point, because we would go back and forth with, well, he's been cool for a couple of days, or maybe I could listen to him, see what he's saying, talk to him, these sorts of things. And it did cause a lot of stress between the three of us. So
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. How was it when he left and went to California? How peaceful was the house?
So peaceful. It was so nice when he was gone. It was really nice.
Mark, how peaceful was the house?
Yeah, it was much better. But on the other hand, when he did leave for good, it took Sharna a good 2 to 3 weeks to come out of her shell. She was kind of depressed about the whole situation. So that's something that, I've been able to help her, put things in perspective. Yes, get falsely accused of it, but God is our judge, not people that seem to dislike us.
It was just really, really So Bill said that the conditions in the house was horrific. He felt like Sharna was coming downstairs. He felt like he couldn't have any ice. He was using too much toilet paper. He was doing all of this. But then he went on to say the following: if I get married, can I bring Mary back to stay with y'all? What a contradiction. Can we talk about that? Wow, if everything was so bad, why did he want to bring Mary back to live with y'all?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that some people see marriage as a thing of convenience, where it'll be, we can live together right now if we're married, And I told him, marriage is a lot of hard work. It's not something you can just press the button. I'm like, you've never met this person, so why would you pull the trigger just because you say that now she'd better be able to come live in the house? It's just.
I just was like, go ahead, Sharna.
It didn't make sense.
No.
Because he wasn't happy here. Why would he bring his girlfriend? Yeah.
That was like, what? So did you all ever get an opportunity to talk to Mary? Sharna, was you jealous of Mary? Did you, what was going on with Mary? Was there any friction between y'all?
I mean, we had talked on the phone, like 3-way calls when Bill was still in prison. We met her before he got out, 8 weeks before, so I knew about her way before he came here.
What?
Yes. So, I mean, she was helping with the planning of what he needed and getting things here for him from there and stuff. So yeah, we had talked a lot on the phone. There's nothing to be jealous of, Auntie. There's nothing to be jealous of. I have a husband, a wonderful husband. I don't.
You got children, grandchildren. You got a big, beautiful home. Look like you got at least 1,800 square feet, if not more than that. You had a beautiful yard. I mean, You got good careers. Like, I couldn't understand it.
I don't know what the jealousy was. I don't have any jealousy. He's got his girl. I've got a wonderful husband.
Everybody in the comments is like, what? This is, it's always good to get a different side to the story. He has been on an interview. He was on a interview tour, and I watched some of the interviews. Some of them I just couldn't stomach it, right? And you all remain silent. And I'm not here to pick sides. I'm just here to allow you to tell your story. Because there were a lot of things that I didn't like that you all did, but there are a lot of things I didn't like what he did. And thank you for allowing me to ask about the protection, because that was one of the things that I was like, he's not protecting her in a way that a husband should. And Mark, thank you for taking responsibility for that. Because as a woman, that was hard to watch. But then when he came up with the stuff with Mary, I was like, what is the cattiness? Or is there really cattiness between the two of you? But when he started making the accusations, you just was, you got to be a critical thinker, and you have to think outside of the box. And I could not, as a content creator, go with the storyline. I'm always looking at what's not being said here. So when he said, can I bring her here? I was like, then the conditions aren't as bad as you're saying they are. If you want to bring her to the house.
That's a good analysis.
Yeah, it can be. He was devastated when you go ahead, Mark.
Oh, the latest rumor that he has out on the interview trail is that we stole some of her money that she put down for deposit. We never agreed that she could come here.
Wait. I'm lost. I haven't heard this. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
what's the rumor?
Yeah, unfortunately, he is saying that we took Mary's money, so that she could move in with us, when we never agreed that she could come here. We never took any money from either of them. All we got was breadsticks. That's literally all he ever brought us, was breadsticks one time.
Neither of them ever gave us a dime. So,
yeah. Do you mean like literal breadsticks?
Yeah, he had a huge bag of breadsticks he brought us. I don't know where he found them, but that was like a kind thing, and we're just gonna say,
did you eat the? Please tell me you didn't eat the breadsticks.
We I don't know if we ate them, but we thought it was Christmas. He normally doesn't give us anything, so.
So he's saying that Mary gave you all a deposit to stay, and then you reneged on the deal, and didn't send her the deposit back. Is that what the accusation is? Because how can you steal a deposit?
Yeah, I don't know. We never saw any money, and there's a whole lot of things that are false out there, and we just have to address some of them, because at this point it's gone on way too long for our personal safety.
And the stories keep getting taller and wilder.
Unfortunately, I haven't heard it. I saw him do, I think, one interview. I saw an old interview of her, because I don't have anything against Mary. And I really don't have anything against him. And that's just the truth. I don't like him. Well, no, I don't like some of the things that he does. And I think when you make certain accusations, you can't take them back. And if it was the opposite, and it was a man being accused of the things that he was accusing you of, we would have been going off. But I just did not, I did not like the way that he treated you all in your own home, and how he kept saying he was vulnerable, and but the stuff that he was doing was antagonizing, disrespectful. It showed no honor, no, just wasn't, in my opinion, grateful for what you all were trying to do for him. I thought it was horrible. And when the show first came on and I started covering it, he was the first one in my inbox wanting to interview. He was in my comment sections and everything, and I was like, oh, okay, fantastic. But I always sit back and watch. I want to see most of the story unfold. And what I started seeing unfold, I was like, there's no way I could have him on my channel. No way I could have him here, because I didn't agree with the things that he was doing, and I didn't want to be combative with him. I feel like it's no need for me to interview him if if I'm going to be cussing him out the whole entire time. You know what I mean? By that. So what other rumors are out there that Auntie don't know about? Because Auntie don't watch them.
There's been an account created that is in her name, and it's been spreading all kinds of, comments about how she was conflicted in her feelings for Bill. That's not us.
I've been working with YouTube trying to get it down, because it was put up just a couple weeks ago and it's not mine. I said, this is not mine. They're impersonating me. And I've been on there 3 times, and last I checked, it's still there.
It's a YouTube channel?
Or an account or something.
Don't give me the name of it. Don't put the name on it, because we don't want anybody over here clicking or. But you're saying this is a YouTube channel? Is it on Facebook or is it on Instagram?
It's YouTube.
But he don't have nothing to do with that, does he?
We don't know for sure. How can you prove it? But it's making comments, for me on other people's sites and stuff that I didn't say.
Salacious comments. So it's just one of those things where there's a lot of misunderstandings and some falsehoods out there, and we just hope that at some point more people can understand.
Well, can YouTube track down a URL?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to get it, taken down.
I've never seen a comment over here that said anything in your name.
Well, I've made comments on yours during an interview.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But it was legitimately you. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I've never gotten a comment in my published or non-published comments about someone impersonating you.
Mm-hmm.
So thank y'all, whoever they are, for not coming over here with the bull crap. But I thought that you did that. Well, I have a YouTube partner, right? So, I can go, past whatever people can go. And I thought that they had a way of finding out where that URL or that, what is it, IPN address is. They do have a way of pulling that whole entire Google, email, everything. Have you asked YouTube to do that?
I've asked them to remove it because it's impersonating me.
And so what was their response?
Well, they don't respond to me, but I've put that request in twice.
Oh, you putting it in somewhere. You're doing it probably wrong. Or maybe it's because I have, someone that I can link up with 24 hours a day to resolve issues like that. I'm so sorry to hear that. That is like disgusting. This has really been a shocking interview.
Well, we're doing okay. We're getting through it, and now that the season's over, maybe maybe the trolls can go away.
Are the other cast members having problems?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Oh, you all don't talk to the other cast members. Okay. This is really weird. Like, you all are telling me things I had no idea. You know, sometimes I'm in the dark about things. I wanted to be honest with my community. These questions that I am at, Mark provided some questions that he thought would help me, right? So I've been using some of those. But most of the stuff that I'm hearing today, y'all ain't know nothing about. And I told them, you know, I would use the framework of these questions. And Mark, thank you for that. But y'all, I had no idea this stuff was going on with them. This is horrible. So are you saying that your phone number got put out by doxing?
I have no idea, but I get phone calls regularly of people that have seen my phone number floating around and just wanted to, you know, say things about my wife.
So that's doxing. If someone has anybody ever sent you a clip of it, a photo, a snapshot?
Yeah, I have no idea, but
God, how long? So you asked Bill to leave. And when you asked Bill to leave, you cried and said you failed him. How?
Yeah,
that conclusion that you failed.
I'm not sure. Mainly, I was just concerned for his future, and I felt that it was quite a relief to us because he was gone and he hadn't worked out as a roommate. So. So prior to you all taking him in, you had other people who were in your home. This is a ministry, Sharna, that you said that you know God has called you to. In the future, will you still be doing this? Did God still call you to this?
Well, the people that we talked to before Bill were like church members, people that we knew. You know, with Bill, this was something all new. That's why he said, when you asked me at first, you know, have we ever done this before? I said, never with someone we didn't know. But, you know, we've had numerous people here that have, you know, needed to stay for a week, or we took a friend from church in that was on hospice, and she was with us for 8 months. And it was wonderful. It was just a delight to have her here. So, I mean, we're going to keep being, you know, being disciples, ministering to people as need be. But will we ever take someone in we don't know again? I don't know. God would really have to tell us, you know, to do it.
And you still at the same church?
Yes.
I'm so sorry about what has happened to you all. How is your family handling this?
My family's supportive. My kids have you know, they've been a support to me.
How devastating. Any last words? Anything you want to say to Bill? Anything you want to say or clear up? Now's the time to do that.
I hope you recognize this shirt here. You had quite a review of my shirt, so I've decided to donate it to a toddler. Yeah, I got, you know, this is the shirt from the sweaty Hug It Out with Bill. So definitely you didn't think it fit me very well.
Did you really slide through that window?
Yeah. He'd left the windows unlocked while he was gone, so I was able to pop the window and surf across his boxes and get in.
Because I was like, this look like this production.
No. No, I was going to get in there one way or another, and thankfully I could pop the window. So
Oh my goodness. I was like, that was hilarious. So, Shauna, you have any last things that you would like to say? Any rumors that you would like to dispel out of your own mouth?
I think we've covered everything in the interview, that people have really slammed us for. You know, we pray for Bill and Mary, and we don't wish them any ill luck or anything like that. We just wish that they would just move on and stop talking about us all the time, you know.
I mean, I must have really been off the because I haven't heard anything. I've seen 2 interviews and that's it. And I didn't have any idea that this stuff was still going on. The show has been off air now for what, a week, 2 weeks. Tomorrow makes 2 weeks.
Um,
I think so.
the
Yeah,
18th, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and there's still interviews going on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he does interviews, and for some reason needs to talk about us. I don't know.
I hope it ends soon. I really hope it ends soon because you did a show and it shouldn't have to ruin your life. And I'm going to be very honest and transparent. I have had in my DMs many people from his past who have reached out to me and have wanted to tell their story. They've wanted to bash the hell out of him. I won't reveal who these people are for their own safety, but people really wanted me to really drag him and to expose him. And I'm not an exposing channel. I feel like it's not necessary. But there are a lot of people who were affected by how you all were treated by him to the extent that they were ready to come out of hiding. He needs to stop because while I said no, somebody else is going to say yes. And I don't think that he's going to like the things that these people are accusing him of. Receipts and everything. So I'm just hoping that you all continue to live your best life and continue to grow in God. Don't close the door to someone else who may really need your help in the future because of this one bad situation. Know that all things work together for our good. To them who are called according to his purpose, it all works together for our good. And I'm hoping that you keep in contact with me and let me know when that good shows up.
Okay.
Let me know when that good shows up because the Bible is sure. It's true. And if there's nothing else that we can lean on, depend on, rely on, we can rely on that Bible. So I know that you all are going to be fine. Just make sure you keep in contact with me, like I said, so that I can be able to share the good news and how God has redeemed that. I do believe that, as the word says, that God can redeem the time and that he can give back what the cankerworm has stolen. All of that can be brought back to you.
Okay. Thank
It
you.
can. It can. Y'all know scripture. It can. It can come back. Huh? What'd you say, Shauna?
That's the story of Job. God allowed all of his stuff to be taken, but he was faithful, did not curse God, and he got it all back plus more.
And what does it say in one of the scriptures? I can't think of it right now because I ain't been to church in a minute. But it says that if the enemy comes in your house to steal from you, that when he is caught, he is to pay restitution. And I believe that the Bible says that he is supposed to pay you back 7 times that which he has stolen. Do y'all know what that scripture is?
I do not.
I'm going to find it because I want to give it to y'all. When someone comes in and steals from you, the enemy has to pay you back. And I know, wait a minute, let me see if I can find that. Let me find it. Proverbs 6:31. But if he, the thief, is caught, he must pay back 7 times what he has stole, even if he has to sell everything in his house. Proverbs, the 6th chapter and the 31st verse.
Thank you, Auntie.
Hold on to that word because it's time for payback.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to come from him. It's the enemy, because we know we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities and all of that kind of stuff, right? We know it wasn't Bill, but that enemy, behind that enemy, got to pay y'all back. So just keep your mind on that. Thank you all so much for coming out here and interviewing with the Auntie's Advice family. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we're hoping only the best for you.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you for having us, and thank you for letting us share things that people have been wondering about.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Sharna.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Yo, what in the whole heck? I had no idea that this stuff was going on. Had my little list of questions to ask. And of course, you know me, I'm a freestyle. But I want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to my moderators who always keep the chat nice and safe. Thank you to everybody for your questions. We will be meeting in the membership and having a discussion, and I hope that you all join us there real soon. Until we meet again, everybody. Bye-bye.